record this. Today is 8/29. So this will go on my YouTube channel. And that way, if somebody missed class today, they can watch this in either class. Okay, so when I look at that word, antibiotic, do I see any prefixes? If you think you see a prefix, you don't have to yell it out. And I do a lot of like talk to the other people at your island because that's less embarrassing than yelling out the answer and being wrong in front of everybody. So you can go like, I think it's this. And then if you are wrong, it's just the two people at your island or the one person at your island. Or if you're on an island all by yourself, you can whisper to the empty desk. I could put a potted plant next to you if you'd like somebody to whisper to, but they don't talk back. So if you think you see a prefix, underline it. Or circle it or whatever. I'm not picky. I'm going to underline mine, but you can spy on my paper. Yeah, you can highlight it. You can do whatever works for you. And if you're a really visual learner, highlighting may be a great thing. I tend to color code everything, like I said, because I'm a very visual learner. So I see the prefix anti. And that's going to help me. Now, I also, and I'm going to underline this in a different color, I also see this root bio. So right there, I've got two parts of the word that I can get a hold of. So if you know what a prefix means right off the top of your head, you can write down anti and what that means. But what I did is I gave you a prefix and suffix sheet. So if you go back to Classroom, you'll note that some resources for vocabulary posted. I do have paper copies of that. Would anybody like a paper copy? Would you be more comfortable with that? It's something you're going to use again and again, and it's something I'll give you a few times, but you can put it in your physical notebook. Let me go grab those copies. So I look it up, and I see that anti means against, and I knew that. You knew that. And then I see bio. Well, what does bio mean? Life. Yeah. Okay, and we can look this up on the chart. It should be there. Life or living. Is it on there?
Yeah.
It is. Bio. Okay.
Greek.
Yeah, it comes from the Greek. So an antibiotic is something that's against life? That doesn't sound good. So once you've done part A, now you're going to do part B. So now, in some cases, there is no root or suffix or prefix that you can get a hold of. And in that case, sometimes you want to write down what you think the word means. And we'll get to one of those. We'll do one of those together. So now we're going to go to the dictionary. I gave you links to two different dictionaries, Merriam-Webster's and dictionary.com. The thing I'm going to tell you to be careful about, when you use either of these online dictionaries, make sure that you are looking at a biology definition, not a general definition, because there are some words that have one meaning in science and another meaning in everyday language. So let's go look up the definition. Okay, so we've got the two definitions, one from Merriam-Webster's, one from dictionary.com. And I think the dictionary.com definition is probably a little more user-friendly for us. So dictionary.com says, any of a large group of chemical substances. Do we know what a chemical substance is? Yeah. Such as penicillin or streptomycin. And those are antibiotics we know the names of. Maybe you know the names of. Produced by various microorganisms and fungi. Did you know that a lot of antibiotics come from bacteria? Isn't that weird? Yeah. It's like turning their guns on themselves. Having the capacity in a dilute solution to inhibit the growth of or destroy bacteria or other microorganisms, used chiefly in the treatment of infectious diseases. Okay, you could use either of those, but what I want you to do is take one of those definitions and copy it down. The whole thing, yeah. Oh. Now, do you need to put in penicillin, streptomycin? No, you can leave that out. But a large group of chemical substances having the capacity, and if you can reword it in your own words because you understand what it means, that's good. If you don't feel like you understand what it means, then you need all the words. Okay? I might reword that. A chemical substance able to either slow down the growth of or destroy bacteria and other microorganisms used to treat disease. If you prefer the other definition, we can go back to that. Oops. Substance produced by or a semi-synthetic substance derived from microorganisms able in dilute solutions to inhibit. Inhibit just means to slow down or kill another microorganism. I like that they have it, they use it in a sentence on Merriam-Webster's. That's useful. That helps you get context. Okay, so we're going to do the second word on there, which is reproduce. Go ahead and in some way, if you would be so kind, indicate any prefixes, suffixes, etc. that you're familiar with. I think you're all going to immediately have the prefix. I would say re is a prefix. Again, do it again. Repeat, retry. So what does it mean to produce something? Now sometimes there's a word, and you can look up re, but I do think you all know what it means. Sometimes if I think I know what a word means, I look it up anyway, just to make sure I'm using it right. But yeah, you know re. Sometimes it's not so much a root as a whole other word, to produce. What does it mean to produce something? To make, to create. Hey, I produced a great batch of chocolate chip cookies. Well, no, I haven't, but see, my mind is on cookies now. This is not good. Okay, so I know that re means again, and to produce is to make. To make again. To make again. We've got our prefixes. We've got sort of a root word. Now what we need is a dictionary definition. And if I look at dictionary.com, I like this because it actually gives me multiple definitions, but it says right here, this one is biology. Oh, okay. To produce one or more individuals of a given organism by some process of generation or propagation, either sexual or asexual, and we'll talk a lot more about what that means, so let's write that down. Okay, so to produce one or more individuals of a given kind by a process of generation, sexual or asexual. So that's the dictionary definition. And again, part C, you're not going to do until after we've used that word in class, and you really get it. You really understand what it means, because that's where we're going to tie your canoe to the dock. We're going to make it a word that you can actually use and you really, really get it. We're going to expand your vocabulary. Okay? The rest of these you can keep working on your own. I have moved the due date for parts A and B back to Friday. So parts A and B are due on Friday, August 31st. And I'll put that up on the ongoing assignment due date board in the front of the room. And I'll also post that to Classroom. You'll want to change that on your own paper. Okay, so I changed that on there, and like I said, you'll want to change that on your paper. Okay, get working. You've got the rest of those words to work on your own.